Coming up in Mountain News this morning, the man accused of killing a former state representative's daughter appears in court, and a search and rescue team in our region gives some tips on how to stay safe on the trails ahead of some incoming warm weather.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. It's 6:31 on this Thursday morning. I'm Dakota Makris. Good morning to you. And today is my Friday. So lucky me. Let's head out over to Brandon for a look at our forecast. Brandon, unfortunately, it's not your Friday.
Today is not my Friday.
Oh, man. I feel sorry for you.
It's okay.
Well,
listen, it's in a way, we'll miss you tomorrow, but I'll be okay with Chas being back. I mean, I'm not saying I don't love you, but
well,
you know,
you'll have a few days ever because I won't be back until Wednesday.
Exactly. So it's not a loss for me. You know, because it's, you know.
I can't. We will discuss this morning.
All right, let's get into the forecast as we head through the daytime hours. Dakota forgets Chas was my first main co-anchor when I was first started doing weather here many, many moons ago. Let's go to the cameras and take a look at Buffalo Mountain there this morning. A beautiful start today. A few clouds up there. Not too bad this morning, and we're going to continue to see a warm trend out there. 45 Somerset, 46 in Moorhead. Everybody else 50 or above, with the exception of Ashland there at 47. But you got a lot of mid to upper 50s and low 60s out there in East Tennessee this morning. 60 is our forecast, but again, some places to the south, they have a little more sunshine and a little less cloud cover. May get a little bit warmer than that this afternoon. I think most of us, though, if we average it out, will be right around 60 tonight. Low to mid 30s for overnight lows with a few clouds around. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. A suspect in a high-profile Madison County murder case pleaded not guilty in front of a judge Wednesday morning. 23-year-old Shannon Gilday is charged with murder and attempted murder after break-in at the home of former state representative Wesley Morgan last week. Yesterday, a judge assigned Gilday a court-appointed lawyer and set a preliminary hearing for Wednesday, March 9th at 9:30 a.m. His bond is set at $2 million. Well, former Louisville detective Brett Hakinson testified in his own defense yesterday about his actions during the police raid that left Breonna Taylor dead. Hakinson said the gunfire began with a muzzle flash that illuminated a shadowy silhouette, and he thought it was someone firing an automatic rifle at his fellow officers. When he was asked if he did anything wrong during the raid, Hakinson replied, absolutely not, even though he acknowledged firing into a window and patio door. The search for a missing Eastern Kentucky man in Leslie County has ended. The body of a 39-year-old man believed to have been involved in a car crash in the Greasy Creek area during the weekend was discovered Tuesday afternoon. Officials thanked all the agencies and community members who aided in the search. Now, the victim's name has not been released yet. Officials say the man's mother was also injured in the crash. After nearly 4 years of trying to find a missing man in Leslie County, we learned Wednesday that a rapid DNA test helped identify the remains of 27-year-old Tyler North. Police began an investigation in June of 2018. In October of 2020, human remains were brought to the Leslie County Sheriff's Office that were discovered. In September of 2020, 2 suspects were arrested in connection to his disappearance. Tyler's former wife, Lena Michelle Collett North, and her boyfriend, former Leslie County Sheriff's Deputy Jeremy Lewis. Police say their trial is set for later this year. Kentucky State Police announced the arrest of a police officer as part of a rape investigation dating back to 2020. Dustin T. Watkins of McCreary County was recently served an indictment warrant. He is an officer with the Transylvania Police Department. He was serving as a McCreary County Sheriff's Deputy at the time of the alleged rape. Watkins is charged with rape and was taken to the Whitley County Detention Center. The Williamsburg Police Department posted on its Facebook page Wednesday afternoon about a man in the area who they say is on the run. Ronnie S. Richardson is wanted for drug trafficking and illegal use of a firearm. If you see him or know where he could be, you are asked to call police. Discarded furniture, car parts, and trash are nestled along the riverbanks in Martin County. Neighbors are hoping to restore the riverbanks to their former beauty, and they're getting some help. Kimberly Kagi shows us how law enforcement is cracking down on illegal dumping.
Olive Maynard's a fan of the water, casting his lines a couple of times a week. The river flows crystal clear in some parts. Nestled on the banks,
you got mattresses, you got refrigerators.
It's not the spring flowers you might expect to bloom.
I don't understand it, though. They spend more gas out running around trying to illegal dump than they could pay a garbage bill. Gas, $3.50 a gallon.
This is what you would expect Haiti to look like, where they don't have the resources to dispose of their garbage. They don't have the incomes that we have here. They don't have the means of doing it that we have here.
The first step is to dig through the trash, finding any clues that indicate who dumped the trash illegally. Then, a warning is issued if they can identify the person that did it. 1 to 2 weeks later, after they've issued the warning to clean up the area, a citation is written.
Working to crack down on illegal dumping, Sheriff John Kirk says it starts with education.
You're going to have to put it in trash bags, and it's going to have to be hauled to the dump, you know what I'm saying, to the transfer station.
Hoping to restore beauty for generations to come.
I'll say this for Martin County, we've come a long ways from what it used to be. Let's keep improving it.
That was Kimberly Kagi reporting. Illegally dumping large amounts of debris of hazardous waste materials is a Class A misdemeanor here in Kentucky. If you see someone illegally dumping, you are asked to call the Martin County Sheriff's Office. Well, the Wolfe County Search and Rescue Team is offering tips to stay safe on the trails ahead of the warm weekend. Public Information Officer Drew Stevens says there are several ways you can better prepare yourself before you hit the trails. That includes making sure you have the right materials, water, a light source, and layers of clothing.
With increased visitation to the Red River Gorge, oftentimes trailheads are crowded or overfull, and you might have to change your plans for the day. So maybe have a plan of where you want to hike and then a backup plan in case that place doesn't work out.
Stevens also says it's important to let someone know where you are going and for how long in case something unexpected does happen. Many of you have been affected by higher power bills this winter, but you might get a little relief this month. Kentucky Power officials say the company used November's energy use to calculate its January fuel adjustment factor, which is reported to the Kentucky Public Service Commission to determine pricing. The amount collected ended up being more than the amount needed. We are told the overcharged amount will be returned to customers this month. Well, the Housing Development Alliance is a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing low-income families with affordable housing. And yesterday, members continued their efforts in Knott County. WYMT's Alyssa Williams has more.
Looking down this street, the average person would see just a small community of homes. But to those with the Housing Development Alliance, there is a bigger story.
Yeah, this is absolutely extraordinary to me to stand here and see all these homes that have gone up in a relatively short amount of time, really.
The Housing Development Alliance is continuing its mission by adding another home within the Emelina community of Knott County. Officials with the Alliance say this home is being built for a single mother and her children.
You know, she's somebody who's going to be successful because now she can look at this and say, look what I've done. She can show this to her kids. You can do it too. And I think that's very significant in today's world, especially here in our region.
Executive Director of the Housing Development Alliance, Scott McReynolds, says their mission does not end here. He says the Alliance plans to build 1,000 houses in a 10-year span, and 2022 marks the third year of this 10-year journey.
We will hopefully in 2022 build about 22 houses actually and repair another 50 or so.
Those helping to build these homes say a family's reaction to their new home is the most rewarding experience.
Seeing the faces of the people, especially the youngsters, with the kids and things that really have a place they can call their own, that's what the job is all about.
Giving Eastern Kentuckians the opportunity to have their own home sweet home. In Knott County, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
6:40 here on this Thursday morning, or as we like to call it around here, Friday Eve. We are looking at some very mild temperatures as you head out the door. 40s, 50s, and 60s. Normal highs for today, 53. So we're already above that in some areas this morning. As we take a look at your breakfast forecast, not too bad out there this morning, kind of averaging out the numbers there as we get into the 50s at least this morning in some areas, and some areas are a little warmer already. But the trend today will be a mix of sun and clouds and temperatures close to or just above 60 degrees this afternoon. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. The time is 6:41. Still to come here on Mountain News this morning. Federal lawmakers discuss some new legislation targeting hate crimes here in the U.S. That's next.